Life is messy and unpredictable.
Being able to find joy in the weeds of life is so important. I'm Beth.
And I'm Kim, and we are so glad you've joined us as we figure out how to hold joy in one hand and struggle in the other.
Welcome to Joy in the Weeds.
There we are. We cut that off quick.
I tried something new, like hitting it.
That was awesome. I wasn't expecting it.
You're waiting for the long pause.
In my head, I was like, oh, and we're going to jump in some weeds today. Put your wellies on. Let's go in the weeds.
Let's go.
Oh, my word.
So I wanted to share a story and then have us talk about something.
Well, first of all, we do have to say happy birthday one day late.
Thank you.
Now, it won't drop on your birthday. Like I don't know when this is
No.
going to drop. However, we are recording.
It'll be a
one
week
day
or so
after.
after. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I had the best day. Like I
Good.
I had got to have breakfast with Abby, who used to be a student worker of mine and then took my position, which when I left my last position. Anyway, and it was just she's such an inspiring individual and I love spending time with her. And we keep saying we're going to, and we haven't done it. And so it was one of those, like, okay, it's about time.
Awesome.
So we got together and had breakfast in downtown Hendersonville at Arabella, and we sat outside. It was a beautiful sunshine, like perfect temperature, like all the things. It was just really wonderful. And then I got to do a little shopping local, just shopping around and getting to know shop owners a little bit more. And like one of the ladies was sharing me her story and how long she's been there and all that kind of thing. And what makes her shop successful. And I just enjoyed, connecting. So that was fun. I went and got my first pedicure of spring.
Nice. Yeah. Today I was thinking I was going to get a pedicure for camp meeting. So
yeah, that's always a big deal. It's the first one.
For sure.
So I did that. And then I ran home and changed clothes and went and met my husband and, a couple, Michael and Jane, that we just really enjoy spending time with. And we went to the Sunset Terrace restaurant at the Grove Park and had dinner. And then after dinner, we walked down onto the steps and there's like places you can sit and stuff and just watch the sunset. I mean, it was just beautiful.
That sounds lovely.
It
sounds like a great day.
It was such a good day.
Good.
Anyway, but yesterday and a week ago has made me think a lot about something. So I wanted us to talk about it today.
Let's do it.
I have a story to share and it's just a favorite of mine. So I'm in downtown Asheville. I need to make a return. But first I'm like, shop local. So I stop in a little like vintage store and had fun looking around. And then I end up buying a little brooch for my birthday, kind of, treat myself kind of thing. And anyway, and then I go towards the store that I had a return for. And as I'm walking down the sidewalk towards the store, this very stylish woman is approaching me and she has a hat on and she just the way she's, she just has this, the person that just captures you because her style is just really something.
Yes.
And it was very Diane Keaton-esque, sort of that, anyway, just very distinctive look. Well, as she's approaching, I'm like, you don't only dress like Diane Keaton, you look like Diane Keaton. And my thoughts are, lady, if you look that much like someone, you shouldn't dress like them, right? Like, because then then you have impersonation vibes.
Right.
And so you really shouldn't do that. And as she gets closer and closer and then passes me, I'm like, could that be Diane Keaton? And then I was like, no, there's no way, right? There's no way. And I want to turn around, but you don't want to do like whiplash and try to, So anyway, I'm kind of waiting. And then finally I turn around and she has a very distinctive gait to her walk and her posture and that kind of thing. And so I just was like, oh my word, that's got to be Diane Keaton. And I
Huh.
go in the store and I'm kind of like, oh, that's so cool. But you're still questioning yourself,
Sure.
because you don't expect to see her in Asheville,
Sure.
North Carolina. If I
Right.
was in some place where you expect to see someone like that, then maybe. But anyway, I go into the store and everyone is abuzz because Diane Keaton had just been there. So I'm like, okay, it was totally Diane Keaton. And
That's hilarious.
I'm just so awestruck. And I'm not usually that way with like famous people. It's not that
Right.
big deal to me. I don't see fame as something to fawn over,
Mhm.
what really why it was so exciting for me was
Mhm.
that she embodies the type of style that I just think is so
Mm.
it's a little edgy, it's age appropriate, I love that she's embraced the gray, there are just several things about anyway. So it was more about just seeing that, the way she's put together
Mhm.
in person than anything else, and anyway, so I just think it's so cool. I leave there and I'm headed back to the car and I see an antique store that my grandmother and I had gone to when I was engaged, and
Mm.
we bought a little table and we've had it all these years, and I don't know, I got a little emotional because I've many times tried to find it and had no idea what the store was. I just knew it was in Asheville. Well, there's a lot
Oh,
of
wow.
big stores in Asheville.
Right.
So and I couldn't remember anything other than that, but this time when I saw it as I was headed back to the car, I was like, "Oh my word, that's the store," and, like, I well up with tears, and
Mm.
I just wanna go and walk around and remember my grandma, right? And I
Mm.
love going into antique stores, it's like a joy of mine. So, I head into the store, and I go down the aisle towards the back of the store, and around the corner comes Diane Keaton. And I'm just like, "Oh." And then I have this embattled, like, part of me that's wanting to just follow her or wanting to go say something and wondering how can I coolly say something? Well, no, there's no cool way to say anything. Like
Right.
there's no way. And so I'm like, Beth, no, don't do that. Like, I really believe famous people also deserve an opportunity to just go shopping, right?
Right.
And not
Yeah.
have to
Mhm. Mhm.
always feel like they're on display. So I'm like, "No, you're not gonna be one of those people. Just keep walking. Like, go on." But I found myself because we were, like, in the same area, like, all I could do was and so finally I was like, "Forget this, Beth. Go completely the other side of the store. Just go." So I go all the way to the other side of the store.
Mhm.
I I cannot get my mind back to reminiscing about my grandmother and, that whole thing. And I'm thinking, all right, Beth, forget it. You know where the store is now.
Mhm.
You can come back anytime to do that.
Mhm. Mhm.
But Diane Keaton's not gonna be here every time.
Mhm.
And then I was like, "But Beth, you can't." Like, I'm going through all this in my head, right? Like,
Mhm. Mhm.
that's all I can think about. And about that time, I turn and I see this glorious bowl. It's like a clear glass bowl. It's kind of modern, but it's large but it just, I don't know, everything about it spoke to me. And I look and the price tag, it's like $18. And I was
Oh,
just blown away because it's really a beautiful bowl.
wow.
And so I was like, all right, get the bowl, leave. Like, just leave. The only way you're gonna leave her alone is if you leave.
Yeah.
So I take the bowl and I go up to the cashier and she's standing there. And so I just go up and I just, like, just stand there with my bowl. I have to tell you, like, she her interaction with the store owner, she started asking them, like, how long they'd been there,
Mm.
and then they shared the story, and actually the woman that was there, her and her husband were the ones she was talking with. It was her grandmother that had started the store, and they
Oh,
inherited it from her grandmother, and so then I shared my story about my grandmother and why I was in there that day, and
that's neat.
so we were kinda like, I mean, I wasn't really just talking with Diane Keaton, but I
Right.
was in a conversation with Diane Keaton.
Right.
And anyway, and then the store owner she said something about, "Well, we're here for a little while and I'll certainly come back." Um, And he said, "Well, maybe next time you come back, we could get a picture with you. We would love that."
Mm.
And she said, "Oh, absolutely, but let's just do it now." And so they had their picture taken, and every fiber of my being wanted to ask so bad, but I was just like, "No, I'm not." Like, it's different. Store owner, me,
Yes.
you know
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's pretty soon she's gonna have a line, right? And so I
Right.
just like, no, I'm not gonna do that. So anyway, but I was just so inspired by her. So, but well, first of all, she's just really kind. She's
Mm-hmm.
more beautiful in person. You know,
Mm.
I love that she is just her. Like, she's
Mm-hmm.
not um plastic surgery Botox to death. Does that make
Mm-hmm.
sense? Like,
Mm-hmm.
she's herself. She's got the
Mm-hmm.
gray hair. She had the hat on. She had Chelsea boots with stars on them, baggy pants, snatched waist. I mean, the whole thing, like, she
Mm-hmm.
just looks so quintessential Diane Keaton, like, just everything you'd
Mm-hmm.
hope. Anyway, but I left there thinking, Diane Keaton, I mean, I love her style, but I also don't wanna be an impersonator, right? I
Right.
just don't, that's not. So then just it's made me think about more about who I am and how I want to dress, and it's a little bit harder when you've put on weight and nothing fits you the
Mm-hmm.
way you'd like for it to,
Mm-hmm.
and clothes just don't look the way you want them to look,
Mm-hmm.
and so that's been a little bit of a challenge recently, but I do know that when I've been heavy in the past, then fashion just becomes if it fits
Mm.
and if it's available and I can afford it,
Mm.
and not so much like, what is me? And
Mm-hmm.
I guess I just can't stop thinking about it. And so and I mentioned last time I got in this blouse I really loved. Well, this is the blouse. Um
Mm-hmm.
if you're just listening, you're missing out. But anyway, and it is, I wore it last night for my birthday dinner, and I took a picture and sent to my brother, who's very much into fashion as well, and and I said, I know it's a bit much, and it's a lot, right? Like, but then I don't know. I guess just trying to kind of weed through the what are weeds and what have I been told, or what have I picked up and accepted as truth it's not, or weeds or things that have gotten in the way of me being who I want to be, and as far as how I dress, and yeah, I can't. I just that's what I've been thinking about, so I wanted to talk about it because I think
Well, there
there's
you go.
for all of us women, there are a lot of weeds associated with, and men too, though. I don't think it's just women, but you first of all, coming from a conservative Christian background, which I appreciate and I'm thankful for,
Mm-hmm.
w- we have reduced clothing.
Mm-hmm.
Oftentimes, we have
Mm-hmm.
reduced clothing to just what is practical, affordable, and modest.
For women.
Oh. Yes. Yes. That's true. Because otherwise, why would men wear ties?
Right.
So,
Or a nice, good suit. If
right.
it's practical and affordable, you can get your suit anywhere.
Yeah. I mean, even a suit, like it's a fashion statement. It comes from fashion.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. So, anyway, yes. So I think that there are, we have maybe put less emphasis on that, or valued it, so to speak, or at least that's how I have felt. Um, like, it's too frivolous, it's shallow. These are I'm naming weeds.
Those are the things that we're I don't know who says it though, because okay, so uh, if the if our conservative church would look at you and would look at me right now,
Mhm.
you would be dressed more appropriately than I am because I'm wearing earrings.
Mm.
And yet, I'm in a T
I wish
and
you
you
all
can
could see
barely
the
see, like, you can't even see the earrings because but you see how like, it's more than just the weeds of, it's frivolous. We choose what's frivolous. Like,
Yeah, we
when scarves were the style,
mhm,
all we women were going out and getting scarves,
mhm.
and we would pay $20 for a scarf, and I don't wanna have this conversation about jewelry, like, I d and we would criticize someone if they paid $20 for a cheap necklace.
Right, right. Well, I think what it is, all we're saying is that in the space that we have grown up in and worked in and
Mhm.
currently I work
Mhm.
in,
Mhm.
that there seem to be some inconsistencies. There are some inconsistencies
Right. Right.
in how we have dealt with this. But even if like, and I know jewelry is a hot button issue
Yeah,
in
and
our
I don't
church.
wanna get into that. I really would prefer to talk
Right.
about clothes
Right.
because I love clothes.
But even when it comes to clothes, like for many of us, clothes have been um lumped in there,
Yes, 100%.
and then people it's just really awful dance that sometimes we have to do with what is going to be considered appropriate for the
Mhm.
thing that I'm attending,
Mhm.
what is not too much, but enough. Like, you can't go in looking like you're not dressed appropriately,
Mhm.
and yet you can't be dressed too much, or then you're trying to be too showy.
Or are but are you?
No, I'm not saying you
But but
are.
but no, that's what I'm saying. It's like,
Right,
these are the
right,
weeds that are
right.
going through our head. Now, because like, I go through it every single time we watch our intro. Every single time we watch our intro and the 3 you, Heather, Thompson Day, and I are sitting on the stage
Mm.
where we're doing that live one, and I look at how I'm dressed. It is my absolute favorite outfit, and it's probably too much.
Oh,
And it literally goes through my head every single time I see that intro. I
yeah,
got one part of me going, "Dang, girl, you look good." And then the other part of me is like, "Holy cow, that was too much."
yeah. So there you have it, some of the weeds.
And it's
You
just
know
very similar to you saying that your blouse is too much. How possibly is that blouse too much?
yeah. Well,
Well, nothing.
right. Right. So I've been thinking about this a lot in the last 24 hours or 30, or no, it's a week now. I keep thinking about it. Um, because our God is a God who made the nature to be so extravagantly beautiful
Mhm.
and not practical.
Mm.
Like, if it was practical, like the number of fish, the number of birds, the number of colors, the flowers, the different varieties, you don't need all that.
Mm-mm.
It's purely for the pleasure of visual stimulation,
Mhm.
to visually catch our eye, to be something that is just it's just beautiful for the sake of
Mhm.
beauty.
Mhm.
And I just can't believe that that same God then wants us to be dowdy and practical
Mhm.
all the time. Like,
Mm.
eh, should we be wearing high heels when we're going to try to help someone clean their yard? No. Like, no. Should we not go clean someone's yard because we have to always wear high heels? No.
Mm.
Like, there's some common sense things about not letting fashion become so important to us that we stop being the humans that we are supposed to be to the world, and so on and so
Mm.
forth. But there's also nothing wrong with looking at your outfit that you were wearing on that stage and saying, "Wow, I look great. I love that outfit."
Hmm.
This top that I'm wearing, I just got it. And right now, I'm having a hard time with clothes because they don't like to fit me very well. Um, I've been wanting something with a big collar. I love a big collar, and there's
Mhm.
not many clothes that have big collars nowadays.
Mhm.
And I don't know if it's because it's out, but I don't really care. I just really love a big collar. And anyway, so I found this one, and it has this massive collar. I mean, it is truly a big
Mhm.
collar,
Mhm.
and I love it. And then, like, right now I'm wearing it. It has pearls all the way around, so it
Mhm.
accentuates it. And
Mhm.
then there's pearls that go all the way around the back, like the
Mm.
hem of
Mhm.
the shirt, so it's obviously
Mhm.
intended to wear out, which I like, and all the way down the placket where the buttons are. Like, you don't see the buttons, they're kind of hidden, but then
Mhm.
there's pearls that go all the way down the side, and of course, they're fake. Like, this is not,
Mhm. Mhm.
duh.
Mhm.
Um, but it's just very different.
And how do you feel in it?
Oh, I feel so good. First of all, it fits me very well right now, which is a big
Okay.
thing. I love what black does to my skin.
Yeah.
And, we had this conversation one time because Kim loves you love bright colors. And I do too. I really do. Like yesterday, most of the day, I was wearing it's like between red and hot orange blouse,
Ooh, wow.
with white. I mean, it's also a lot, but I just like things that are different and that are a little more dramatic. But I do love black, and this is black, and I love that. I love wearing it with jeans that have holes in them and my Chelsea boots. I love the
Mhm.
sort of the juxtaposition of something a
Mhm.
little more
Mhm.
what would might be considered fancy, and then wear it with jeans.
Mhm.
I love that. But yes, I feel great in it. It's comfortable. It has really big blousey sleeves, like puff sleeves, and I just think that's
Mm.
so fun. Um, anyway, but I've been trying to I wished I had a whole bunch of Bible verses. Like, I would love to have a list of Bible verses. And then I was thinking, why? Like, God's character screams in what he has created, even in creating us. I mean, what our eyes do, and how our faces are so incredibly beautiful and show such emotion, and are all unique. Like the fact that no two people are ever the same. I
Mm.
mean, that comes from a creator
Mhm.
who loves creativity. And so uh I don't think he gifts us and creates that way to then say, now all of you need to be the same. I have to tell you, school uniforms irritate the jeepers
Oh,
out of
I
me.
mm-mm. Mm.
Because it doesn't give our
Mm.
kids the opportunity to
I don't
just be who they
be who
are.
they are. That the only the schools that my children went to, what I appreciated about the uniform is there was variety in the uniform. Like it wasn't like one color shirt, one color pants. It was like there was 2 colors of pants that you could choose, and there were like
Right.
several colors of shirts. So there was some
But can I just tell you, like,
mm.
for some of us to wear a polo shirt never looks good. I don't I don't care if it had leopard print on it and it was whatever. It just doesn't fit my body right.
Right.
And what it does is it says we should all be the same. And so
Mhm.
when you are not, like if your body style is different
Mhm.
in one direction or another, it exaggerates that. Like,
Mhm. Mhm.
you can't dress in a way that makes you look your best.
Mhm.
Instead, you have to dress in a way that sometimes accentuates all the things that are not your
Mhm.
favorite,
Mhm.
and you get to then stand beside everybody else, all of your classmates
Mhm.
that look very different in that shirt
Mhm.
or that pair of pants, and it's just a hard place for a kid to be. And I just wonder, why are we putting so much value on, in some ways, we talk about fashion not being, like the weeds that we talked about at the beginning, like, too much and all of those things. And yet then we are so afraid of it
Mhm.
that we go the other direction, which I think is putting just as much value on it,
Oh, 100%.
but in the opposite
But in the
direction.
opposite. Mhm. Mhm.
Because what does it matter? Like, what does it really matter?
So answer the question, what does it matter? Why are we doing all of this? What are we afraid of?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I mean, we've got to be afraid of something. Are we afraid of individuality? Are we afraid of, like, what are we afraid of?
Yeah. I'll tell you what I have been discovering last week that I am afraid of.
Hmm.
The weeds are, it comes down to this feeling of that it is better to be mid.
Is it?
No, it's
Well,
not. But
I know
that's the
because
weed.
everywhere else in life, we are told to excel.
Hmm.
When we're producing, when we're working, when we're working for the Lord, when we're helping people, when like do it all for the glory of God. Well, if I'm if I'm going to dress for the glory of God, what's that
You're
going to
gonna
look like?
dress. Yeah.
I'm going to wear that outfit with that long flowing whatever that thing is called. I don't even know what it's called. With purple and yellow.
Yeah. I remember as a little girl, so in our church where jewelry is not accepted. Um, I can remember always just thinking about how interesting is it that when I get to heaven,
Mm.
there will be crowns with jewels in them,
Mm.
and but not here. Um, and I don't want to have the debate about jewelry. I
No,
honestly, I think we're just
wasted
not.
time.
Yeah,
It
thank
really
you.
is a waste of
That's
time.
the right way to
It's
say it.
a waste of time.
It is a waste of time. Um, but I guess, I turned 54 yesterday.
Whoop.
And there I know. And there's a part of me that I think this very much comes with being in your 50s. You just don't care
Don't care
anymore.
anymore.
You just don't care anymore.
Like there's a fleeting thought and then it's like whatever.
And what I don't care anymore is to let all of those weeds be so loud
Mm-hmm.
that I'm not free to be me.
Because the weeds are still there.
Oh, yeah.
They're still there.
Yes.
And it sounds like you struggle with the same thing that I do, is like it's too much, which too much is just as shaming a message as I'm not enough.
Yes. 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 Yes.
And I love Elise Myers. Then go find less. I really want that t-shirt.
Then go find less. Yeah. Yeah. Well, so anyway, I'm trying to shake that. And I think, you know, seeing Diane Keaton had a lot it put me on this path of thinking about it from the standpoint that she works in an industry that is notoriously desperate for everyone to be too much. Right?
Mm.
Like you have to be at a level of perfection, and not just perfection, but what is the current perfection? Like I'm thinking about
Right.
lip fillers. In our day, lips like that was like, you look like you got stung by a bee. That's not
Yes.
cute. And do you remember big butts? Like nobody wanted to have a big butt. Like what's with a big butt? Like no, we don't do that. Like that's not the thing. Now it's the thing,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
so she works in this industry where there is this constant need to be not only at a certain standard, but a certain current standard.
Mm-hmm.
And regardless of what you are, right? Or regardless of what you like. And she is, I mean, I'm not saying she doesn't struggle with all the same things we do. Maybe she does. I don't know. But she appears to have been more free to
Mm,
just be who she is.
mm,
And um so I just keep asking myself this question, like if I ignore the weeds,
mhm,
and I want everyone that's listening to think about this. Like if you ignore the weeds that either say you're not enough or you're too
mhm,
much,
mhm,
the weeds of my body doesn't live up to a certain standard, so I can't dress
mhm,
that way, or the weeds, that I'm too young or too old or too whatever,
mhm,
just too, uh, or that it's not godly, or it's not, like you can list all kinds of things.
mhm,
Whatever the weeds are, like if you just ignore those weeds and tried to figure out who did God create me to be? And what that means, like,
mm,
and what do I like? Because sometimes we forget that our desires and the things that we're drawn to and who we are and what our personality is was
mhm,
also a gift from him.
mhm, mhm,
And what a disservice we do, like to him, our creator, if we're not willing to be who he created us to be. I don't know.
yeah,
So I'm trying,
I got because I can't my joke is when people tell me that I look nice or that I always dress nice, like, I've had people in the office building that I work, "You always look so good." It's like and my response is always, "Oh, I'm just vain."
Mhm.
Um, and I often wonder, is that true? Am I just vain? Because I like to look nice.
I don't I see that as a big time weed. Like that's not just a little weed. That's like a deep rooted weed.
Yeah, and I come by it I mean, I gotta to be honest, I realized that my mother like, that was also her answer.
Mm,
Is like, that's how she's like, "I'm just vain." And but that isn't like, that is a weed. Like, I'm really like, if it is vanity, then that's not okay.
right. Right. No, I listen, there are people out there who are listening to this or they're not listening anymore because
Because we turned them off completely.
yes, because
Because 'Cause we're telling, "Go make yourself beautiful and be fine with feeling
because
beautiful."
because minute 3 they're in saying, "This is ridiculous. I hate fashion. I hate people trying to tell me I need to dress up." Like, just wear a t-shirt and jeans and do your thing,
Like,
right?
yeah,
Like, go
and that's
do
my
it.
daughter. Like, that my daughter is so like, don't even like, I'm gonna be comfortable, and that is
Yes.
her style.
It
I'm gonna wear jeans, and I'm gonna wear a t-shirt, and it better not be a too tight t-shirt,
yes.
and leave me alone.
And what I say is that is as it is the same thing that we are talking about. Like, you need to be free to be that, right?
Mhm.
And not
Mhm.
feel the
Mhm.
pressure to be
Mhm.
anything else.
Mhm.
Um, and and it is just as valuable. It's kind of like I think about a bouquet of flowers. Like they're just glorious flowers, right? But a rose is not a lily, and a lily is not a rose,
Mm.
right? And a Queen Anne's lace is not a peony. Like they're just different. And
Mhm.
my point is that so many times I have been trying to be, I don't know, I can't come up with flower, but I've been trying to be something instead of what I'm supposed to be. And I want to know who I'm supposed to be when it comes to fashion and style and be free to be it. And it may be a lot.
For some people, so they can go find less.
I may look like one of the kids who's not been allowed to wear any makeup until they get outside of their family's home,
Mm.
and then all of a sudden they can put on makeup, and so, clown face happens.
Mhm. Mhm.
that may be what happens, who knows? But I just fashion to me is also something it is the exterior it's like this it's like the flag that says who I am. It's like the
Mm,
sign that says, "Here you are, like, this is me, and I'm ready to be me."
mm. See,
And it's
I
about time.
when I asked you how you felt in that in your blouse,
Yes,
and
yes.
you said, "I feel good, I feel great."
Mhm, mhm.
When I dress, well, today I'm wearing t-shirts and a t-shirt and a pair of shorts, but I don't I feel beautiful.
Yeah.
I want to feel beautiful. I feel I am 55 and a half years old. I feel more beautiful now than I ever have in my entire life.
Mm,
And I dress purposefully to feel beautiful.
mhm.
And I remember, I might even just cry. So I'm going to take a deep breath. I remember the 25-year-old
Yeah.
who thought she had to wear oversized jumpers and never wore a v-neck, and everything was baggy, and
Mhm,
that poor girl.
mhm.
And it's not that I wanted, I mean, I never felt beautiful. I never felt beautiful. I did not feel beautiful until my 40s.
And I I don't feeling beautiful, dressing beautifully, um, dressing in a way that makes you feel confident and comfortable in who you are,
Mhm.
um, has nothing like whatever your sense of, let's say, modesty is, or you know, whatever it is, like you can embrace, you can be you and it be very, very different in all different aspects. But I think the point is that uh, being willing to value this is how I see it this week being willing to value me enough to honor honor myself and be willing to put in the effort to feel beautiful
Mm.
because that's important to me,
Mhm.
and it may not be important to someone. That's okay, but
Mhm.
it's important to me.
Mhm. Mhm.
So Kim Cove,
Yes, Beth Grissom.
I really want to see the intro again just so I can see your outfit.
Oh man, it's my favorite. I got cream colored pants.
Okay.
I've got a like a purpley type camisole, and I'm wearing this long flowy. It's got
Oh,
purple and
yes.
yellow, and my hair is like the best blonde ever, and it's just flipped just right. Like I remember that day, and like that outfit. Whenever I wear that outfit, I feel like $1,000,000. Like I might even wear it tonight. I'm doing a presentation tonight. I might even wear it tonight.
I think you should.
Yeah.
I don't think it's too much either. Just for the record, I've never looked at that and thought, it's too much.
Well, you're not going to think that.
This is one area where you and I are not opposite.
No.
I mean, we have a different
We
style
have different
maybe,
tastes and
and
different styles,
yes,
yes,
no
but
question, but no.
mm-mm.
We're right on we are in agreement on this topic for sure.
Yeah.
I also, Kim, I have to say, I also think about the younger me. Um,
Mm.
there was a while back, there on Facebook, there was this like me 10 years ago
Mhm.
and then me now.
Mhm.
And I wasn't sure I wanted to do that because,
Mhm.
I'm 10 years older now.
Mhm.
And I had a hard time finding a picture that was 10 years ago.
Mhm.
And when I did, I was like, I mean, it's been a while now, so probably been 15 years ago now, but whatever. And I just remember thinking, I wasn't as happy then.
Mhm.
Happiness and health makes
Mhm.
a huge
It's huge
difference in how
difference.
we look and how we
Mhm.
feel.
Yep,
And I think that's as equally important,
yep.
but the sparkle and shine that comes from inside, when you feel good about life and who you are and
Mhm.
um
That's
when
the
you're
that's the beauty of getting older. Like,
it really
we
is.
just don't care anymore.
So
I
my
mean, we
sister
care, like, it's there, like, the weeds are there,
yeah.
and then we say, "I'll I'll stomp those
My
weeds."
sister was asking me about that. My sister's 11 years younger than I am.
Oh, yeah.
So, um, anyway, she asked me about it. And being in your 50s, it is true. There is something glorious and free. And to anyone who is not 50, like I think when I look back at me in my 20s, 30s, and even early 40s, I just wish like there
Mm.
is a what is it that makes it so hard for us to be there then? And I wish I could have. And maybe you can't. I mean, I don't know. Is this
Yeah,
only something?
yeah, yeah. I don't know, 'cause I've noticed developmentally, um, that's there's something that happens to women in their late 30s, that is the transition, and then and then it's just if they allow themselves to grow and change, because there are some women who don't.
Right.
But if they allow themselves to grow and change and embrace what's being just embrace it.
Yeah.
Where you're no longer defined by your roles.
Mhm.
You're no longer defined by your relationships. You start defining yourself by who you are.
Right.
And that and so I don't know whether it can happen in your 30s or in your 20s.
But
What
if
I've
you're in your
noticed.
20s and 30s and you're listening, try.
Yeah. Well, it could very well be possible that the
Yeah.
young people are like, "Oh, yeah, I'm gonna be myself."
Yeah. I just think it's such a beautiful time. It's such a fun time. Like I don't
Despite the menopause.
despite the menopause.
Just give me my hormones and I'll be good.
By the way, we keep saying we're gonna have a conversation
Yeah,
about
we are.
that.
'Cause it's gonna get personal too. I'm telling you. I don't even take a sleep I used to take valerian to help myself sleep.
Yeah,
I don't anymore.
I
I I
know.
I just took a like, I'm gonna yeah, anyway, that's not today's
No,
conversation,
it's not,
but
but that may be the next time. We've got to just
yeah.
we've been trying to debate how we're gonna tackle this we haven't debated, we're just haven't figured out how to tackle it. We keep wanting an expert, and that keeps we're not
Well, maybe
getting
we just
there.
need to tell our personal
So I
stories
think that's what we're gonna do, is we're just gonna tell our personal stories, but
because they were
the
living hell.
bottom line, it is even with that, this is the best time.
100%.
It is the best time.
100%.
And a big part of that for me is this freedom and desire to be fully me
Yeah,
and embrace it.
I'm going through my closet. I decided, I don't remember, maybe 6 months ago, I decided I will no longer buy anything that is not in a color scheme that looks good on me,
Mm,
and I'm gonna get rid of everything. I don't wear white anymore. I don't wear
mm.
black anymore. I'm limited on my blues because not every blue looks good on me.
Mm,
I am looking for a core wardrobe, and I heard
mm.
somebody, because I follow fashion people on TikTok, because I like clothes.
Me too.
I like to feel beautiful.
Me
But
too.
she said that, every item you buy should go with 10 things in your closet.
Hmm.
And I thought, "Well, there you go. That's pretty brilliant." And I just want you to know, I bought 2 pairs of yellow pants. One is like a summer yellow, like this a bit, and the other
Yes.
one is like a muted mustard yellow,
Oh,
and I love them. 'Em. They're
of course you
so
do. That's so good. So one of the things I'm trying with fashion, which is new for
Mhm.
me,
Mhm.
is I have my whole life been just doing the whole buy this, put it on, wear it. Um, and so I'm trying so much harder to be intentional about mixing things differently,
Mm.
wearing, like, how do I transform it into something me? And,
Mhm.
uh, I am in love with brooches. I mean, today I have an
Mhm.
antique
Yeah, I
pearl
noticed the
brooch
last time
on.
you had another you had a brooch on your yeah.
Yeah, I'm just obsessed with
Fun.
them. I love bling and it's a fun way for me to wear it. And I'm wearing it like in very different ways. Like I have one of my favorite. I know if you've followed me at all on social media, you've seen it. So sorry, but um I have an oversized like man's vest. It's not a
Mhm.
man's vest, but it's like like a suit vest, but very
Mhm. Mhm.
oversized, very
Mhm.
big and black. And I just, when I wear it, I put like 20 brooches on one side of it. So it
How
starts at my
fun.
shoulder and they just go down the side of it.
Oh,
And
how fun.
and then I just wear sheer like black top underneath it with jeans and
Mm.
boots. And I just love that's my ultimate like if you said that outfit is your favorite, like when I wear that outfit, I feel
Mhm.
so comfortable. I feel
Mhm.
so me, a
Mhm.
little much, but in the best sort of way.
But the
And
thing is
I
though, that aren't we like you and I, we are a little much.
we
Are we not?
we are.
So, who cares?
That's right. That's absolutely right. But I think that is what like when I wear that, I feel 100% me
Yeah,
and
'cause
and
you're
it
a little much, Beth.
yes, and it is like fully embracing that. Does that make
Yes,
sense? Like fully
yes,
embracing it. But it's
exactly.
also fully my style. And it's
Yes.
not someone else's. I didn't get it from anywhere else, right? Like
Yeah,
I just came up with this nutty thing myself.
yeah.
And I just really um I love everything about it. And so I was just talking to my brother yesterday and I was saying, I've just got to figure out how to do it summer because I've kind of
Mm,
spent a little bit of time this fall and winter and I kind of have some things that like I love layering. That's a big thing that I love to
mhm,
do. But anyway, so that's one of my newest things is trying to figure out how to like, not just wear a dress, but, like, what do you wear with it, or
how to
how do I layer,
accessorize.
or how do
Yeah,
I
yeah,
accessorize, or
yeah.
how do I turn that dress into something that's not just someone that everybody can wear, something
Mhm,
everyone can wear, but something that eh eh it the way I wear it is different because
mhm,
I'm Beth.
mhm, mhm, mhm.
And so I'm just trying to figure those things out and having so much fun
Mm.
doing it. I mean,
I should send you a quiz. I again, TikTok, thank you. I I sent my sister this quiz. My sister and I are very different, of, feminine types,
mhm, okay.
and I think I'm gonna send you the quiz because it's about the feminine type and then people who in the world who have that type and then how that type dresses.
Mm.
And, um, yeah, it's pretty accurate. Like,
Hmm.
as I was looking, I was like, yeah, there's a little bit of that in there."
So
I thought it was cool.
I was trying to describe my style to my daughter, like ideally what I would like to be. Um, and it's kind of like a little bit dramatic. There has to be something
Mhm,
either oversized. Like right now, what I love about this shirt is first of all, it's big, but it has this big exaggerated collar. Like so
mhm,
something that is exaggerated. When I love
mhm,
the brooches, it's because I have not one brooch on, but I have 30, right? Like that
mhm,
just maybe it's not really 30, but it's a lot. It covers the side.
mhm,
Um, and so something that is exaggerated in some way, I really
mhm,
enjoy that. But almost like I like a little tiny hint of something almost masculine to offset
mhm,
the feminine.
mhm.
And I really love like a hint of rock and roll. And I don't mean that in
Mm.
like not in a I I guess maybe more than rock and roll is just something with a little bit of edge to it. Just a
Mhm,
hint. And I think
mhm.
it's because I have a round face. I have like I'm round. Like let's be real. I'm just round. Like there's a lot of me that's round. And sometimes then that feels sweet.
Mm.
And too sweet doesn't appeal to me. Like I
Mm.
want to be a little something, a little surprise, something
Mhm.
a little unexpected.
Sometimes it's fun being a little much.
So anyway, so I would love to take the quiz. That would be fun
Yeah, I'll send it to you. I'll
to
send it to you.
see. But yeah, I
It takes
really
forever though. There's like over 100 questions.
oh,
So make
that's
sure you're
great.
sitting down with some time
I
and
love that kind of thing.
don't pick the middle one. Like
Oh yeah, of course.
there's a
Yeah.
5 and I did the quiz twice. And the first time I just put stuff in the middle because I was like, well, I don't know. Then the next time I forced myself
To choose one or the
to
other, right?
choose on either side. And so yeah, so I'm very curious. I would love to know what you come out as
I
too.
would be happy to do it. That would be fun. So,
Quizzes are always fun.
uh,
Uh,
well, it was a wonderful birthday yesterday, and
mhm,
it has been one that, every once in a while you have a birthday that's really impactful and you're
mm,
gonna remember.
mhm,
Um, Last
mhm.
year I hired my personal trainer on my birthday. That was a
Wow.
big and impactful thing. This year, uh, I just had a great day, but
Mm,
it was focused on, how I'm going to dress, how I'm going to embrace fashion.
yeah, yeah,
So we'll see what happens this year.
yeah, yeah. See what next year brings.
Stay tuned and
Yeah,
watch on YouTube.
right.
I'm just kidding.
And truth be told, what I wanna make sure I wanna kind of reiterate what you were saying. If fashion's not your thing, that's
Right.
fine.
Right.
The whole point is
Right.
be you,
Right.
whatever that is.
Yeah.
Because God made you special and he loves you very much.
Sometimes we need to go back to cradle roll, don't we? Or beginner's class in church.
All right, sister.
Seriously, we do.
In the last 24 hours.
So much.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I bet you had a whole birthday full. What has brought you what is the biggest joy, laughter, or smile that you've had?
So many things. I can't say this is biggest because there are just so many
Okay.
things. So I'm not gonna stack rank them.
Okay.
One of
Okay.
the great joys,
Mm.
been out almost all day. I get home late last night after being out with my husband and friends and what have you. And we open the door and come inside, and sitting on the buffet, whatever piece of
Mhm.
furniture I have right by the front door,
Mhm.
inside,
Mhm.
we don't lock our door, just people.
Okay.
I shouldn't put out there, but we don't.
Actually,
So,
that's actually well, I don't know if anymore, but growing up, we never it's a Canadian thing. Don't lock the door. Don't
just
bother.
I don't know.
Whatever.
Just I never have. Never been good at
Right.
that, whatever. I didn't yesterday. And we get home, and sitting on the credenza is a full box, like a full box of fresh mangoes.
Oh, wow.
No note, no
You have
nothing,
no idea where they came from.
just a whole box of mangoes. And I'm sitting there. Now, for anyone that doesn't know me, I have a lot of stories with mangoes. I love mangoes, like love, love, love mangoes. We were growing up, mangoes were so expensive. My parents would get a mango and share it with the whole family.
Oh, and you have a lot of brothers and sisters.
5 of 5
Yes,
5 of us, plus
that's
mom and dad, so
that's
7.
not very
You
much
know,
flamingo.
and sometimes we might get 2 mangoes, but honestly, like, you never like, a mango was cut up and put on a plate,
Mhm,
and you got a piece or 2,
mhm,
right?
mhm,
I had an experience when I was, a teenager, and I went to take care of my great aunt's horse farm, and when I arrived, she had a whole box of mangoes, and she said, "You're gonna need to eat these." And
mm,
so she taught me how to eat a mango quickly and eat
mhm,
a whole mango. Anyway, and I just feasted on that box, but it was one of my greatest joys was that
mhm,
week just eating mangoes to my heart's content, the whole
mhm.
thing by myself, like, I could have the sides and the pit, like, ah, such a joy. And so I know that it has to be someone who knows me, right? So I can't
Oh,
imagine, like,
yeah.
one of my new neighbors did this
Right.
because they don't understand, like, it's too random that they give me a
Right.
box of mangoes, right? And so,
Right.
anyway, and I'm trying to just figure it out, and I thought and Chris said, "Well, maybe it's Andrew," and I messaged him, he was like, "Nope, that good plan, though, sounds delicious." Anyway, then at some point, I was just sitting there, just thinking about who it have to be
Mhm.
somebody semi in the area, somebody that um, has the code because you have to have a whatever to get
Mhm.
in the neighborhood even here. And so, like they'd have to, and then they'd have to be willing to open my front door and know it was
Mhm.
unlocked and come inside,
Mhm.
like feel
Mhm.
comfortable enough to come inside. And so I'm just
Mhm.
racking my brain trying, and they need to know about the mangoes. Like they need to know
Mhm.
me that well.
Mhm.
Anyway, it was Laura Ashlock and her daughter Madeline, and she's my former
Oh,
pastor's wife, and
that's
we
neat.
have a common great love for mangoes, and
Uh-huh.
so she knew, like, she knows the story, she knows
That's neat.
how much I love mangoes, and so she just dropped it off, and she told me she had left a Marco Polo, when her and
Oh.
Madeline were there, but I don't for some reason, I don't get, like, notifications or push I
Mhm.
just don't use Marco Polo much, so I hadn't gotten it, but anyway, it was just such a joy, but
That's marvelous.
even during that time when I didn't know who it was, just knowing that someone knew me well enough, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
took the time
Yeah.
to drive all the way over to my house and
Yeah.
knew me well enough to know they could just open the door and come on
Right.
in and set it down. It was just lovely all the way around. So
That's
huge
so
joy on my
cool.
birthday.
That's so fun. How
Yeah.
many have you eaten?
I haven't yet.
What?
I know, but
Are they
it
the
was
little yellow ones or are they the
yes,
bigger?
they're
Yeah.
like butter, and they
Yeah.
need just, like, maybe one more day, and then they're just gonna
Okay.
be like,
And then
"Ooh,
so for Sabbath, you could
I'm
just
gonna
take
be
a nap.
just like,
Sounds
I'm gonna have
awesome.
mango juice
Drip
dripping
in the
everywhere."
bathtub while you eat it. That's awesome.
All right, what about you, Kim?
Well, it's
In
not
the we should
nearly
clearly state the question, in the last 24 hours, what something's brought you joy, laughter, or smile?
it's not nearly as fancy and wonderful as yours, but, I
They're
went
all good.
I went to work out this morning,
Ah,
and I hate sweating,
mm.
and I sweat, and there was joy because I knew that I was working hard,
Aw,
and there just is something about that. I promised myself. I think I've said this before, I promised myself that I would be stronger in my 50s than I ever was, and I am, and
and
the
you
fact
are.
that I was sweating is proof of that.
Mm, that's great.
And I hate sweating, but there was joy in it, so it's really weird. But my heart was just a pumping. So,
Why in
yeah,
the past have you said that you hate sweating, or why do you hate
because it
sweating?
feels awful,
Oh, okay, just the feel of
gross,
it.
just feels terrible. It's like I'm
Mm,
hot
mm.
and it reminds me of hot flashes.
Oh,
But,
yeah.
I know we're almost done, but there's a difference between the hot flash, the
Yes,
hotness of a hot flash and the
there is.
hotness of working out. It's completely different.
Completely different because with working out, yes, you're sweating, but there's a coolness that comes from that sweating, and that is completely
Very yes.
absent when you're having a
Yep,
hot flash.
yep, for sure.
Hot
Yep,
flash is just like an
miserable,
inferno. It's miserable.
the
Anyway,
worst thing.
we're gonna get to
We're
that.
gonna get to
Hang
that.
on. Coming back and join us
Yes.
as we talk about menopause.
Bleh.
No one likes to talk
Dun,
about it, but
dun,
we need
dun.
to talk about
Oh,
it.
we need to
So
be
anyway,
and there's actually a lot of people are talking. I guess Oprah just did some big
yes.
thing, so we're just gonna
That's
talk about it.
that's because all of us
We're all getting
ladies,
there.
all these ladies of us that are talking, we're all there and
Exactly.
dealing with it. So
Exactly.
anyway, but yeah, we will definitely address that. So anyway, well, hey, thank you everyone for
Yeah.
joining us, and I guess go out and chop down some of the weeds of fashion and
Yes.
enjoy
Be
the
yourself.
joys. Be yourself, be full of yourself, and just enjoy it. So
Yep. Okay.
bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We would really love to hear from you. So please find us. We're on Facebook and Instagram. Just search for Joy in the Weeds. You can also email us. Our email address is joy@carolinasda.org. That's joy@carolinasda.org. Now, we hope that today, as you navigate the weeds, you will also hold on to moments of joy. This podcast is a production of the Carolina Conference of the Seventh-day Adventist Church.